I want to give you some simple strategies, 5 of them, in fact, to help reduce your no-show rate on your sales calls. Okay, this is so, so important because one of the worst feelings is to be stood up for a sales call, right? I get so irritated when this happens because my time, just like yours, is very, very valuable. And for a lot of us, we are spending our money or our time to get these calls booked. So we want to make sure that we are minimizing the amount of people who no show to our sales calls. So I recently was working with this client who was getting like a 60% no show rate. Talk about frustration, right? But by implementing these strategies that I'm going to go over, simple strategies, we've been able to drop that to 10%. And the best thing is that a lot of this can be automated. So just for some context there, she typically books 10 sales calls per week, and let's just say her conversion rate is 50%. She converts 50% of the people who she actually talks to. Her offer is $5K. What that means is that we've just increased her sales by $60K per month. How that breaks down, so if she has 10 calls per week and she's got 60% no-show, she's only getting 4 people to show up, and she closes 2 sales out of that. But if we flip that and now she's getting 10 calls and 9 of them show up, she's going to close 4.5 sales. Let's just make it 5, 5 sales. Right. So that's an extra $15K per week or $60K per month without spending an extra dime in paid advertising or doing more, just doing more and spending more time. Like, this is just fixing a leaky bucket. Now, no-shows are going to happen. Like, we're never going to get rid of them completely, but we want to reduce them as much as possible so that we can get more qualified people on the calls and ultimately make more sales. And we want to set up a system that we can optimize and reduce this, make more money, right? So number 1, now this is the big one. Okay, this is the big one. And there's a lot here. But what happens before the sales call, as far as like, what is the context that your potential clients are seeing ahead of the sales call? So this could be a webinar, this could be a challenge, this could be a VSL, this could be live, this could be recorded, whatever it is, right? We want to make sure that the context of what they are seeing before they're able to book a call is already starting to qualify our leads. So make sure that your video context is letting them know who the call is for, who's going to benefit the most from this, from the call itself and the offer. And the flip side is letting them know who won't, who is not a good fit, who should not book a call. So you want to sell that, you want to use the context of the video, whatever precedes it, right? So it could be a live launch, it could be an evergreen webinar, it could be, whatever that is ahead, right? We want to make sure that we're using that to sell them on the call, and most importantly, sell them on the process of how they're going to get the ultimate result. Now, you're going to use the sales call itself to sell them on the product. But if they are already sold into the process, they are more likely to show up to hear about the product, right? And the better the context and the framing of the call, the more likely they are going to be to show up, because it's going to do some of the heavy lifting for you. It's going to add that perceived value. It's going to pre-frame your offer. It's going to get them bought into the process. So it's going to do some of that heavy lifting. Like, you're not going to have to convince them that this will work. They're already going to be bought in. So if you need more information on how to actually create more effective content or context or framing of the call, make sure you check out my links and other videos, because that's some of my favorite jam. And the better that you engineer what happens before the call is even offered, the more people are actually going to take you up on it, and the more people are going to be qualified who actually book the call, and the more people are going to show up. Okay, so that's number 1, is to make sure that the context, whatever that context is, we do a lot. We have evergreen funnels that are working with evergreen webinars. We have VSLs, and of course we have our live challenges. But make sure that the content is doing the heavy lifting for you. Okay. That's number 1. Number 2 is we want to make it simple for them to book a call. So now they've got the context. We want to make that next piece really simple. So, and make sure that you've got an easy link to remember, an easy process to book a call. Now you could send them to a Calendly page or Acuity or whatever you're using, like directly to a booking link. Well, we don't want to do that. We're trying to reduce our no-shows. So we actually want to use our booking page to be an extension of the context that we just gave them. So if they just came from a webinar, we want the booking page to feel like the extension of the webinar, for example, right? So we want to use that page. It's very valuable real estate because the context gets them to click the link. Now we need to continue to sell them on actually booking the call and then showing up to the call. So the booking page is going to do that. It's going to continue to show them the value of the call. And the value of the process that you just kind of sold them on, you pre-sold them on. So I like to really show. Let me share my screen here for just a second. I'm going to show you a little bit. So now all of this, we use our software shown right there. This is our wonderful champagne room, an example, right? So this is what it looks like, but on our booking page, right, I like to start with a really strong call to action, give a little context that kind of bridges the gap from what they just consumed to the value of the call, right? So I want to make sure that they know what they're going to walk away with on this call, what they're going to get out of it, again, who it's for, maybe who it's not for. And then we want to do that before they even have a chance, right? So this is, again, continuing to sell them on the call. Now, below here, you'll see you want to have story-based testimonials, video, text, right? Continuing to sell them on what, like, what you're doing, giving yourself credibility. And then we want to have our actual way that they book in two places. So we want to have it above and below all of the selling of this call. Okay, so we want to have it in two places. Now, we also want to make sure, so all of this, what I've showed you so far is showing them that this call is for them. They're sold on it, right? We want to continue to use those testimonials to overcome objections that they might have about the call. We want all of this to be on brand, same colors, not feel like, oh my gosh, like this is weird, or this feels very different, right? We want to do that. And then we want to have a questionnaire that they actually have to fill out before they can book a call. Okay. Now, it's short, right? Simple. It's fun. I like to make them fun, make them feel a very safe place. So we want to have them fill out a few questions. Now, if you're getting a lot of unqualified leads, you want to make sure that you look at the questions that you're asking, okay? And you can automate the actual, if they're unqualified, you can send them to a different page, okay? But we want to make sure that they are filling something out. And if they're not willing to fill something out before they book the call, then they are less likely to show up on the call. Okay. And this is another way that we qualify them. Now on the confirmation page, you want to also use that valuable real estate to continue to sell them, right? So this can all be automated. We do this all inside of our champagne room, right? But when they book a call, that confirmation page that pops up is another place where you have a video, you can have testimonials, you can make it fun, give them something to remember you by. Okay. Very valuable real estate. So many people don't use that space. Okay, so tip number three is that don't give them a lot of time between the context of the call and the call itself. So let's say you are running a live event, a live challenge, a live launch. Don't give them more than 3 days. No more than 3 days from the time that you make the pitch to book a call and they are able to book a call. Okay. If it's evergreen VSL or a webinar, no more than 7 days. And you can even create no more than 5 to 7 days tops. And the reason why is because time kills all deals, and people are busy, and you want to stay top of mind, and you want to keep them excited, and you want them to remember what the videos were about. So don't give them a lot of time to book the call. Don't give them a lot of options. Don't have like a bajillion different options when when they pick their time. Okay. So that's tip number 3. Tip number 4 is what happens between when they actually book the call and the call itself. Okay, a lot of this can be automated. Okay, a lot of this can be automated. We automate it with our champagne room, and there's some little strategy in there as well. Okay, so email and text reminders. Okay, they need a confirmation email, confirmation text right when they book a call, and then a series of reminders. Now make these fun, keep them on brand, make them relevant. don't use the standard like autoresponder text, right? You want to induce an emotion that fits with what they just, why they booked the call. So maybe make them laugh or get them excited, or agitate a pain point, remind them of that desire, but make it memorable. Okay. We like to have fun with them. We like humor over here. We're engineers over here, but we like to also have fun. You can also send testimonials in these emails. Again, continue to sell them on the call because they haven't had the call yet. And yes, both email and text. Absolutely important. And we like to send several of these. And here's another little tidbit for you is to use these emails and texts to get them to reply to you. If they reply to an email or text before the call, the chances of them showing up for the call are going to skyrocket. Now we like to get them to reply by making sure that they have their Zoom link, right? Even though our Champagne Room, of course, automatically generates that link and it's all there for them, but it's a good, easy way to get them to respond. Yes, I've got my link, or no, could you send that again? And you could also get them to respond with the one thing that they would like to get out of the call, or what are they most excited about. But if you can get them to reply, that's another neuro pathway, right? And they're going to remember it. Okay. Make sure that it gets added to their calendar with notifications built in. So, a lot of us might use Outlook or Google Calendars. Make sure that when you're booking software, is actually adding that to their calendar. And the last piece of this, and secret strategy here, is to give them something to do between when they book a call and the call itself. This is going to add more perceived value to the call and continue to sell them on showing up and give more value to the offer that you're going to make. So what that looks like is it could be showing them how to get the most out of the call. It could be showing them how to prepare for the call, or what they need to bring to the call. So for us, we have a 3-part video series. I'm going to share my screen up here just again really quickly. We have a 3-part video series that we actually send out, and we have 3 videos, and each one gets unlocked every 8 hours. So we make sure that when they book, they're booking at least in enough time out that they will get all 3 of these unlocked. And we give them a very specific email subject line to go look for. It's a lot of fun. Right? It's a lot of fun. But these videos are very strategic. And through the Champagne Room, through our software, we can go and actually see who is watching these videos, who is opening those emails. And we know that if they're consuming these short videos and they're going back and opening emails, they're going to be more qualified, and they're definitely going to show up. Okay. Now, cool things that you can have happen, right? So after each video, you can have sections of this page actually pop up with testimonials. Testimonials are really good at overcoming objections, getting them, really pre-sold. You can have a video from you pop up. Like, you can have so much stuff happen here. It doesn't have to be videos, but have them do something. Give them a homework assignment. And again, all of this can be automated, and you can track this to see who, what your qualified leads are doing. What are the people who buy? What are they consuming and what they're not? Okay. Now, in tip number 5, okay, so tip number 5 is that if they don't show up in the first 2 minutes of the call, 2 minutes, that's it. You could even do it in 1 minute. But if they don't show up in the first 2 minutes of the call, send them another text. Include the Zoom link and let them know that you're there and you're waiting. It's so simple. It's so effective. And sometimes we just forget. I mean, this happens to me all the time. I'm like, oh yes, I got that appointment happening in 30 minutes. And then I get busy doing something else and I just forget. It's so effective. If they don't show up, just shoot them a text message with the Zoom link and let them know you're waiting for them. Okay. Again, it can be fun. Now, most of this, what I talked about, can be automated. And once you set it up strategically, it just happens on autopilot. And of course, you'll want to test, you'll want to optimize, you'll want to collect the data. So you'll want to know, like, how well does my video, my webinar, my challenge, my whatever convert to sales calls? How well does my booking page convert? How many of those people are responding to my reminder emails and or texts? And then you can tweak and optimize, and you can continue to reduce your no-show rate, right? Now, once you get them on the call, like that's where we can make money, right? That's where we can close them. But if your conversion rate is less than 40%, right? Well, we can work on that, right? And I've got lots of videos and trainings around like how to actually run the sales conversation. But it doesn't matter how good you are at sales if you can't get them to the call. So we need to make sure that we are reducing our no-show rates. And these 5 strategies that I just covered in 15 minutes or so, like this will be game changer. Okay. Thank you so much. Now go reduce your no-shows, make some more money, and we'll see you soon.